Welcome to the Awakened Goddess Show, your source for inspiration, wisdom, and personal discovery. The place to learn from a diverse mix of mentors, metaphysical experts, spiritual leaders, and best-selling authors from around the world. I'm Angela Wilkinson, attraction coach and founder of The Goddess Next Door. Join me as I explore the minds of my masterful guests while they share powerful insights and easy-to-use tools you can start using right away. Now, let's tap into the energy of the Awakened Goddess and be enlightened by today's guest. Hey, I'm your host, Angela Wilkinson, and welcome to this episode of the Awakened Goddess Show. Trisha Condo is an internationally recognized Native American psychic medium, intuitive coach, and shaman, helping her clients find success in love, finances, career, and spirituality. Trisha has been reading clients from all over the world as an intuitive coach and spiritual guide for 7 years. Since the age of 5, she's naturally tuned into people's energy. And after graduating from college, she's fine-tuned her psychic gifts and coaching. Trisha has a radio show Tuesday nights on A1R Psychic Radio, and she resides with her family in eastern Quebec. But before I talk with Trisha today, do you desire a deeper understanding of your spirituality? How about the metaphysical world? And what about the laws of the universe? In the Spark Spiritual Academy, we explore metaphysical and lifestyle topics where we give you the keys in easy-to-use, bite-sized pieces to create the life you want. Spark Spiritual Academy offers a monthly collection of inspiring, thought-provoking information in one convenient place. Each month, you'll get a new collection of bonus material from the Awakened Goddess Show experts. You'll also get journal exercises, meditations, and resources to put into practice and create quantum leaps forward in your life. Join us today and ignite your brilliance within. See you there. Well, welcome, Trisha, to the Awakened Goddess Show. I am super excited to have you join me today because we're going to be talking about trusting your guides, going deep, and why we're here. So, welcome.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here. I'm really honored.
Yeah,
yes.
Cool. You know, we hang out online together in a Facebook community, and every once in a while you do animal guide readings, and that's so much fun. And I know, and animals are so awesome.
They are, and I tend to see them people see them every day, and they wonder why they see them all the time, and the same ones even the ones with this, they come up with the same message, and people just see them as just animals. Mm-hmm. And what I do is the animals talk to me, and I get I'll see things, and they'll tell me, well, this is what's going on. So I have this telepathic thing going on. I've had it since I was a kid. So I'll start seeing the future, or I'll see the past life, and I'll see what's repeating. Mm. And I'm kind of like a deep sea diver. I go deep.
Nice.
Yeah, I go deep, and I start lifting off layers and layers. And this is, people tend to cry. It's not a bad thing. At first, I thought it was like, oh my God, they're not going to come back. I'm doing something wrong. But no, they kept coming back and saying, what you said came true. Mm. And I said, okay, cool. They said, but you're going a little bit deep, and I wonder what's going on with that. And I said, well, your guides are talking to me, your animal guides, and the shamanistic thing starts coming in. So I'm kind of like, I shake everything off, and the things you're scared of, I take that off. Things that block you, I take that off. And you're like a shiny new person, and I get really deep. So people get really emotional. So I understand that because I've been through all of that. Mm-hmm. So I had to walk the talk. And so I've been through everything. Name it, I've been through it. Yeah. So I understand. And I used to say, what the heck is going on here? I'm having so many traumas and so many things going on. So finally someone told me, Trisha, it's because you have to learn how they're going through things to really to feel it, to understand it, to experience it. Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So, this woman named Sonia Chaquette, I don't know if you know her. Yes?
Yes. Yeah, I'm thinking she'll be on the show here in the next several months. Mm-hmm.
Yes, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely see her there. And I love her. 12 years ago, she told me I was going to be doing this work. So I was like, really? She's like, yes, you're going to be doing it. She goes, but you're going deeper now. Mm-hmm. She goes, and I think that's good. She goes, and I said, I feel that. So that's my purpose.
How exciting. How exciting. I love that you go like super deep, because that's where I have the tendency to hang out. And I'm not sure exactly why. But yeah, I have a hard time hanging out in the superficial stuff. But yeah, so you're going to make me cry today?
Okay. Grab your tissues.
Yeah, so maybe we'll get to that later.
We'll make it light. So with you, definitely I can go in. So.
Oh, wow. Okay, we can jump right in.
Okay, so like I said, I've been doing this for quite a while, since I was 5 years old. I know I'm not supposed to be going through this. Since I was 5, I've been able to see my spirit guide. He was an old shaman, you would see in the tarot deck, the Hermit. Mm. He looked exactly like that. He was an old Native American man. And I believe I've been with him in my past lives. He's a teacher. He's a shaman. He's here to teach me to shift things. So I cannot see him anymore because I was very scared of what I saw. It's not, when you're 5 years old, you're innocent to a lot of things and you accept things just as they are. Mm-hmm. But as I learned, nobody else could see spirits or hear guides like I do. My mother told me later on in life, when I was 22, 23, that she saw her guides when she was 17. So it got passed down. Mm-hmm. So what I do is I tend to go in really deep, okay? And I'll explain why. I go into the soul purpose. I go into soul lessons. I go really, really deep. Sonia called me a deep sea diver. So I'm going to go into it and I'll tell you what I get. With you, I know you're more of the emotional, I don't know why, but my guide kept telling me that you're here to heal the planet. You're a healer. And I feel as though this has gone in past lives. I feel like you've been a woman that didn't take much shit. Excuse me. You can bleep that out. You were also, when I go back, you didn't take much stuff. You were a pioneer. I feel like you were always in charge. In the Middle Ages, you were a woman, but you always, I don't know why, but you always did things on your own, and you were a bit of a tomboy. So you had the dress and everything, but you were a tomboy. But I feel as though you were always doing things in secret. I feel like you were also a man, and they're showing me back into, I feel as though you were somewhat connected with the Mayans and Atlantis. You were always curious, because they're showing me you were a scholar, but you're also a spiritual teacher. You did things, they're showing me water. They're also telling me that you were very connected to the earth. You were also a woman almost like me, like a witchy woman. You know what I mean? A medicine woman, a doctor of some sort. And they're also showing me that you are here to transform energy with your whatever you're doing here, podcast, or I think it's going to shift more though. I feel like it's going to shift. You're really teaching women that it's okay to be different. The new thing now is to be different. And I feel like that's what you love. You connect really soul to soul, heart to heart. That's who you are. And I feel as though, when I go back to your parents, I feel as though there is something there, but I feel like you're a little bit different from your mom. I feel like your mom was a little bit quiet and your dad was okay. He supported you, but you're more like, this is who I am. This is what I'm going to do. You can't tell me what to do. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
This is who I am. They're showing me that you were also quite alone. I feel like you were alone a lot when you were younger. And I feel like you've kept this because you're showing me a big hermit. And that really resonates with you. Big hermit. I understand because my guide is showing me a lot of pictures. You're very visual too.
Yes.
And they're showing me lots. You also like art. You're really into not like boring art, like, how do you say it? Really into, you're showing me like graffiti. Like you're really here to shake shit up. But, okay?
Yeah.
But I feel as though my guide was telling me that you're into healing. You're also here to look at emotional traumas of people. And this is a really deep thing for you. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper. There's also something with your heart. I feel as though you're kind of not saying a lot of things. I feel as though relationships, you haven't said a lot of things. And I feel like you need to start speaking up. I feel like when you start speaking up, I feel like things are going to really manifest for you. Okay?
Nice.
He's saying going backwards. Okay? Going backwards, I feel like there are times when you're going to go into your past. And I feel like emotionally, you're going to go there because you need to heal things, okay? You need to heal big time. And I feel like there's going to be lots of women, I feel like, and I've seen it before with you, there's like chains. There's like more things you're going to do. It's like a continuation. You're going to do more. And I feel like you're going to be also a person that's going to be up on stage. You're going to be a woman that's going to empower a lot of people. A bit of an entertainer too. That's part of why you're here. You're a big entertainer. Yeah. Okay? And I feel like you're going to be focusing on, I would say, and it's what I'm seeing, like, I don't know if it's battered women, but women that have been pushed down a little bit more, put down. And I feel like you connect with them more like soul to soul. And I feel like when I go into that, I feel like there's something there that needs to be lifted off. I feel like you need to start expressing more and more about why you are here and why, because when I go into that, I see as though you're going to be really empowering women, and I feel like it's going to be good because you're here to lift the vibration of people. And you're going to say a lot of things are going to be in your face, but I feel like you're going to be doing it in such a nice way that it kind of dissipates. You know what I mean? Like you kind of let it be kind of fun, but you are a cheerleader. That's what I'm getting. Cheerleader, supporter. You're showing me energy with you. And I feel like you're going to change a lot of people's frequencies to a higher one. I'm going to get a little quiet. You're also going to continue doing this as a free thing. He calls it volunteering. You're going to keep on with this, the free thing, the free, everything being free, giving. He's saying that you're going to continue that. I eventually do see you on radio. He's showing me pictures. I see you on radio, big time, in front of other stations. Right. Other stations, okay? And this is going to blossom out. And they're showing me that you're going to be also, you're going to have to learn to take time out for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
Oh, yeah.
It's not all work. I feel like you're going to take time out. I'm seeing like a mountain. I feel like you're going to go to a mountain place. And I feel like this is going to be like towards winter time. Taking time out.
Mm-hmm.
Just being, I don't see much people around you. Seems like you're taking a time out. There needs to be time out at times, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you really need to go in nature because it's one of your favorite things to do.
Mm-hmm.
You're showing me lots of nature. And yeah. And do you have a boyfriend right now?
There's a connection, but it's not like solidified and there's distance and...
Yeah, so I talked about relationships before. I feel like you need to work on that a little bit more. There is a bit of trauma, okay? I feel like you really need to work on that. You need to let things go, okay? Letting things go, and that's what I'm getting. He's also saying that you're a bit of a counselor, okay? That's one of your things you're here to do, is to be a counselor for women, and I feel like that's really, really what you're here to do. He's saying you need to stop being terrified of relationships, okay? You need to stop being terrified. And I'm getting a woman guide and a man guide that are coming forward. That's how they come. Mm-hmm. So I'm seeing them in front of me. I'm seeing the woman. She's saying, don't worry about the money. It's coming. She's showing me gold coins. It's coming. She's saying it's coming. Okay.
I've gotten the free thing down really well.
You have.
So I was certainly wondering about the money piece.
She's saying, she's showing me gold coins, and they're really old. But she's saying it's coming. They're really shining. She's really showing me that. She's from Athens. She's from Rome, Athens. She's really very ancient, but she said that you picked her. And she's all about empowering people and getting people out of the desert. That's what she's showing me. And that's what you're here to do for the rest of your life. And that's what she said. She's here, and I feel like later on, they're showing me that you seem to be in a point where, that's really interesting. She's showing me that you used to be a person that used to work with her, and you were a bit of a warrior, even as a woman. Mm-hmm. You did what men did. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes.
And that's really what she's telling me. And my guide is also telling me that you're going to have to work on your emotional stuff with relationships. That's one of your lessons down here, okay? Mm-hmm. He's saying that I do eventually see you getting married, okay? I do see you having one child, one boy. And I feel like he's showing me that you really are going to learn how to be closer to someone, as opposed to, that's what he's showing me. You're going to be more closer as time goes on. I feel like it's going to be one of your things. And I feel like it's going to be with you. You're a very close person, and that's what I'm getting. And relationships, don't worry. You're going to learn how to get close. And that's what I'm getting with you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So no crying.
No.
I know I get really deep. So, yeah.
I love it. It's awesome. Yeah, I mean, pretty much all of that resonated with me. And, just thinking about in a past life, one of my past lives, I was like a herbologist.
Yes.
Yeah, so you talked about nature and maybe like a doctor and you talked about secrecy, and I felt like I was wearing like the scarlet letter for that, like not for adultery, but for
speaking up.
Yeah, speaking up, which has been a life challenge for me.
Yes, it has. But you're done with that.
Yay!
You're done with that. But I feel like you do pull back, though.
Yes.
You do hold back. You need to start speaking up a little bit more globally. I feel like you need to network out, because they're showing me you going out like this. And I do get that you're going to be on some panels with women. I'm seeing a group, like I don't know if it's a telesummit but I feel like there's going to be a group of them. You're going to be on several of them, maybe 5 or 6 of them. That's what I'm seeing. Big network. You're going to branch out. I feel like these podcasts are good. They're really good. They help women. You got to think outside the box.
Yes.
Going out. And I feel like that's what this is all about. You bring out your name and what you're about. And I feel like that's going to be real. Oh, did we just freeze? Yeah. Yeah, and that's what's going on with you.
Very cool. Yeah. I love that you were talking about the radio thing, because that's kind of one of the things in the back of my mind was the desire to be syndicated for the show.
Yes.
And so that's awesome that you said that, because that's kind of like in the back of my mind. And you talked about being on a stage. I've always had this vision of me being on stage. Yes. It's been something I have kind of not necessarily jumped at.
You're a little scared.
Yes, I am. But what's funny is that all of my family, they're all performers. Yeah. And I definitely have that in my blood. And so there's a part of me that really likes being on stage, but there's getting on stage is the whole first. It's like...
Yeah, like when you talk about that, my throat chakra kind of closed, and you're learning how to be on your 2 feet, and you're going to go through a revolution. I feel like you're going to go through this revolution where you're going to start changing the way you brand yourself, and I feel like you're going to change the way there's nothing wrong with the way you dress, but I feel like it's going to be more professional. I don't want to insult you.
Yes, you might mean my work clothes from home. I work at home and
It's on, so.
Hey, at least I put on a skirt. That's funny.
Yeah, and I do have my other guide that's talking to me. You do have to start being gentle to yourself and start playing a little bit more, because I feel like you...
You're so right there, guide.
So she's saying you need to play in the water. She's saying playing. She's showing me actually doing it. My guide is also saying that you're also going to have like a membership site.
I actually have one that's like kind of, it's in the very baby stage right now.
Yeah, so it's going to be private. He's saying that's the way to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exclusive.
Yeah, and he's saying start being generous, opening your heart, generous, more generous. Okay, because he's saying you do have a generous heart. Keep going with it. He said, just because it's free, he says it's just, you want to be more global. Because I'm seeing a whole map of the United States and Canada. And I'm seeing further. I'm seeing like Iceland. I feel like you want the whole North America. And eventually you're going to go past to Russia, to China. You're going to go there. And that's what they're showing me. He's saying you're going to have like guideposts. You're going to have signs.
Good. I love signs. I love signs.
That's what they're showing me. He's saying that you need to stop with the silence. You need to speak up, and he keeps talking about your relationship. Eventually, I know you're going to get married. He's saying that's one of your you're comfortable, but I feel like you're going to get married, but he's saying you need to be in partnership. And that's one of your soul lessons, is to learn how to be a partner and interdependency. And I feel like that's what's going to happen with you, as opposed to you being silenced, you disappearing in the relationship. Okay, because he's saying you're not going to be silenced in a marriage. Yeah. And is that one of your fears?
I think that in past relationships, I would tend to defer to my partner, where it was more about, let me help you.
Yeah, you got really lost in them.
Yeah, be successful. But then for my own business and what I was here for, I kind of put it to the side and minimized it and...
Yeah, silence. That's why he kept talking about silence. So I have to interpret what he says, because it's just, silent. You were silent. So you were in the back.
Yes.
You're always for them. Always, I know, because I've done that. You've always put your needs in the back. Yeah. Okay? You're very comfortable with that, putting your needs in the back. Yeah. But I feel like they're coming a little bit more forward. You're working on yourself a lot, which is good. You're a bit logical at times.
Yes.
You like studying a lot. You study. Okay?
That's how I grew up. I grew up with like a bag of books, and I drag them everywhere I went. That in my journal.
I know. I definitely see you. You're going to be connected with Natalie Lucier eventually.
Oh, okay.
You're going to be connected. I know that doesn't really bother you that much, but I get the sense you're going to be connected, and it has to do with you speaking. But other places, you're going to be really connected with a lot of influential people eventually, because I feel like you're going to be up there.
Awesome. I like the sound of that.
I feel like that's what you want. I know it's what you want. Yeah. And you really want to be at the same level, because you want that recognition. That's what I'm getting. Yeah. You really want the recognition. I feel like it's something, but I feel like you need to go outward. Yeah.
So definitely. Beyond that. So
go beyond.
Stop hiding. Stop playing small.
Yes. Stop silencing yourself.
Yeah, that one is a big one.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, did they have anything to say about me moving?
Are you accepting it yet?
Am I what?
Are you accepting that you're moving?
Well, it's something I want to do. However, the resources are not showing up.
You need to start putting your energy into it. You need to accept it, that it's coming.
Okay, so just know that it's coming and...
Yes.
Yeah.
He's saying that you do have a period of overanalyzing things, so you really need to get out of that head of yours and start accepting things. Just say, I'm moving. I'm going in this direction. That's a little bit of law of attraction that he does. Yeah. So he's saying that you just say, I'm moving.
I'm moving. Yes, I am.
Yeah, I know, he's a can of whoop ass. So he's like, just move.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it might be slow to you and really dragging on.
Yeah, it's already been a year longer than I would have liked.
So, is it some sort of, it's like a nice house. Is it around woods? Because I'm seeing like a lot of trees.
Well, there's two things. It's kind of like two parallel realities. So there is my deep desire, and like I want to move back to New York City, which is not woods, but I want to
not now.
Yeah,
eventually.
I want to be right in Manhattan, because I feel like my soul is being called there for at least a period of time. I mean, yes. I feel like I could be one of those old ladies that after everybody's gone, I'm like living in Manhattan by myself, just living it up.
Yes, of course.
And then the other thing is partner situation. He's in Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, timing is not right. It's kind of like that twin flame thing where, you know, just, yeah.
Like I said, there's ambivalence with you. There's a lot of ambivalence. There's, your energy is like, put one foot in, put one foot out. Like, I feel as though you need to start putting 2 feet in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And so I definitely get that. And there's a lot of balance you need to do. Because your woman guide really is coming, keeps telling me that you need to start. I definitely get that Ireland is going to be very important. I do see you kind of going there because I'm seeing it. So don't worry. Keep branching out.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely keep doing that. Yeah.
Oh.
And don't limit yourself because I do see you in Los Angeles too. Yeah, I do see you. Like lots of traveling and branching out. It might be a little bit slow at times, but I feel like that's the way you work. And I feel like that's what's going on. I keep seeing that all the time. And networking is going to be a little bit slow, but it gradually goes. Like, that's what I keep seeing. And,
you know, what's interesting is that with the show that has taken off, it's just become like a lot of the things I've done in the past, my business have been like sludge. And this with the show, I mean, I only started this last October, and I literally have enough guests booked through next February.
Nice.
And I mean, it's just like amazing, and I feel so blessed and abundant in the energy that's happening with the show. And I know that I don't even know where it's going, what's happening. I know that there's a bigger purpose and bigger, you know.
Yes, there is. It's definitely to reach a lot of people and to know people, to, how do you say it, to be generous in your spirit, because once you open that part up to yourself, if you get I get a lot of ambivalence with you. That's what I'm getting.
Yes, and I think that's driven by an underlying fear.
It is. It's a big fear that how good can I stand it?
It's funny. I have a not a mosquito, but you know, it looks like a mosquito. One of those long-legged bugs that just came to visit. Yeah, I don't know if you can see him, but he's right here.
Oh, yeah, it's a skeeter.
Yeah, he just came out of nowhere. So
a little mosquito is, the thing is, when they buzz around you, they make a large impact. They're very tiny, tiny, delicate creatures. But when you have a mosquito around you, they can bug you, right? They bug, and they're relentless. They keep going around you. Mm-hmm. So it's that little bug is trying to tell you to keep going.
Yeah. I like him.
So he's telling you, even though he's tiny and small, which represents you, it's how you feel. Mm-hmm. So you feel really tiny and small, and who's going to look at me?
Yeah.
So he came around for a reason.
That's awesome.
So he's saying, see, if I bug you, you're going to notice me anyways, right? Mm-hmm. So he's saying, keep going.
All right.
See?
All right. Just don't draw blood. Thank you very much. Otherwise, I won't like you. Other than that, I'll be fine.
And they tend to be, they're attracted to the light, right?
Well, he's like, won't get off me now.
He's trying to tell you, keep going and keep shining your light.
Yes. Awesome. Mm-hmm. I will definitely do that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Oh my gosh. Wow. I wasn't even expecting all that. That's amazing.
Yeah. You do have a lot of animal totems. You do have the bear. You do have the black panther that's with you, around you, a lot. So the
Really?
cougar is saying you need to start being a little bit more vicious in what you want, meaning really, because the cougar is all about it can see in the dark and it can see in light. They're also very beautiful creatures, but they're also very courageous.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not afraid of anything.
Yeah.
So that's what your cougar is trying to tell you. And you do have a lot of them. Holy boy. You do have the parrot, okay, is all about communication.
Mm-hmm.
And try not to, there's also about communication, but try not to mock everybody, whoever's out there. Try not to copy people.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning being yourself, keep communicating. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
I hope I helped you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. This was like amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I'm curious then, what does it feel like, or what is it like when you're in contact with your spirit guides and the animal helpers?
Well, what happens is I start to go into some sort of higher vibration. So here is just normal reality. What I actually do is I tune into the higher frequencies, and I'll start hearing somebody talking to me, like whispering to me. Yeah, like, I've had people. Yeah, they're like, it's really low. So what I do is I've learned to really tune into that part. I know in some shamans and other Aboriginal cultures and whatever, they have to use peyote or whatever to get into this altered state. I don't need that. So I don't have to smoke a joint or... No. So I've had this since I was a kid. Like, I've had this clairaudient channel. It's passed down from my mother and my great aunt, and that, yeah. So I've learned to tune in I go into this, like, I get really quiet, and then I start hearing somebody talking to me. And then I'll hear my other guide, which is Addie. I have Grey Wolf and I have Addie. Addie is more of a soft woman, but she tells you, she's more the empowering guide. Mm-hmm. Grey Wolf is more, he does the soul lessons and soul purpose. More the kick-ass, kind of whoop-ass kind of guide. Mm-hmm. So he's more the loud one. She's more like, she comes in, tells you, you need to be more feminine. And so they both balance me out. Mm-hmm. And then I have the Council of Elders, which I haven't really talked about. The Council of Elders, they're higher frequency. And they kind of come in and they act as one. So they all pull all my guides together. And then they start really getting down and dirty, and they tell me all about the person. And then they start showing me images. And so so what they do, the both of them, is they focus me in and go right into you. Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you meet all of these guides and the council and...
How did I meet them? I met them when I was...
Yeah, I want to hear kind of a little bit. So for people that know that they have that sense that they have abilities of some sort, I wonder if you can kind of give them maybe an understanding of how they can open themselves up and what your process was.
Sure. What I did is when I closed down my clairaudient channel, and I did, because my parents were freaked out and everything, is I prayed him to go away. You can do that. Mm. But you also can do another form of prayer, which is meditation. I did it with my eyes open because I have ADD. Everybody does now, don't?
Yeah.
I have bad ADD. Like, oh, there's a bird. So, oh, there's a rubber ball. So what I learned to do is, I remember it was in my my last year of university, and you have to read like crazy. So anyways, I did it at 9:00 at night. I chose a time when I was about to go to bed. And the guides want you to have a routine. You have to have a routine. They'll respect you more that way. They used to be human once, right? So I said, okay. So I said 9 p.m. is when I'm going to do it every night. So focus on this little black spot on the wall. And so I learned how to clear out the mind chatter. So I would sit there for a minute. I did a minute. So I'm like, okay. Then I would say, oh, I have to do this in the morning. And then, nope, I had to come back. I had to do that. And no, come back. Yep. And then what I did is I focused on my breathing. So I started doing that for a minute. Then I stopped. And the next night I did it for 2 minutes. And I had like a counter or alarm. So it would buzz me right out. So I did that. And I focused on that. So I had to do, since I was ADD, so I focused on my breathing. Then I looked at the black spot. And I just, every time something I would think about, I would stop. And so I did that for 2 minutes. Then the next night I did it for 3. So I gradually went all the way up to 15. I remember one night I went all the way to 2 hours. And that's when I went to a deeper level. Because I didn't do my alarm that. And then all of a sudden, boom, I heard all just whispering. Just a bunch of whispers on top of each other. And I heard this when I was 5 years old. And then I remember...
And hold on. When you hear the whispers, is it because there is a whisper of as if someone was standing next to you whispering? Or there's a whisper of like you hear someone in your head talking?
I hear someone in my head.
Okay.
So... Don't worry, I've gone to a therapist.
Yeah.
I've gone to a psychologist. I actually did go see one, and I said, do I have schizophrenic? Am I schizophrenic? Am I, all of these? So I started, she said, so read me. Tell me what he's saying. I said, this is what's going on. I said, this is your sole purpose, I'm guessing. Because at that time, I wasn't really comfortable with what he was telling me. So I would just say it like that. Boom. And it was very blunt. So it was very blunt. And I was like, oh, I think I got too blunt there. She was like having this like, how did you know that look? Like, so she would sit there really quiet. And, she would just adjust herself. I remember she was adjusting herself, and she was like, that's really good. She said, I didn't even tell you anything. And I was like, I got all red. And I'm like, she goes, you are definitely getting something there. She goes, I didn't tell you anything. She goes, and you're seeing this too? And you're hearing this? And you're feeling it? She goes, no wonder you're going bonkers. So she's like, no wonder there's a lot of, she goes, well, you got to learn, she goes, educate yourself. Go read some books, go listen to radio shows. She said, but I think you should start reading people. She's like, read people. And I'm like, okay. So,
you're like, do I have to?
I have to. So I was still in the closet. I was really scared what people were going to think of me if I was cuckoo or too woo-woo or... So what I did is I used tarot, but people were like, don't put that away. So I was really, really hanging on to them, and they were like a crutch. Yeah. So it was just a permission slip. So I would just focus on them, and I was just like, then I would start hearing guides, and I would start seeing them, and I would start seeing pictures. And so it was a lot. It was like overwhelm, really overwhelmed. I'm like, Jesus, do I focus on that? So I started practicing. So I was like, this is what I'm getting with you. So I'd start feeling it. I start feeling people's emotions or personalities. And it would be almost telepathic. So I'd know what you want. I would start people pleasing. And I shouldn't, there's some of the stuff I shouldn't have done I was people pleasing. I told them what they wanted to hear.
Right.
But then my guides were like, no, stop that. So I would stop, and they'd be looking at me like, what are you doing? Well, my guides are saying, I need to stop. So I'm telling you. And then I would go really deep, and I'm like, this is really scary. And they're like, no, keep going. They would talk to me and say, who are you talking to? I'm like, my guide. And then so I would go really, really deep. And I would go into their fears, what they really dream about, what they want to become. So I would start saying everything. It started getting more structured as I went on and on and on. So if you want to learn how to listen to your guides, you'll get it as a feeling, like someone's around you. Mm. You'll feel it. You'll feel the personality. You'll get like a name, or you hear your name being called all of a sudden. And you're wondering, did I just hear that? You'll get a feeling of somebody either on this side or on this side. It depends so if you feel like a woman, did I make that up? You ask yourself, do I make that up? Mm-hmm. No. Maybe it's a man. Yeah, I feel it's a man. And you'll feel a name. Maybe it's Jack. Or you'll just get the name. And then that's how it comes. And then you'll start seeing them in your dreams. Mm-hmm. And then you'll start seeing the name everywhere. And that's your guide talking to you. And then you'll start seeing signs. You'll see it in movies. You'll see it repeatedly. And that's what your guides do. They start sending you things repeatedly. And you're like, what is going on here? So you're like, and you'll see the name relationship over and over. You're like, what is going on here? Or some other deep thing, and you're like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to know that. But it'll keep coming back, and your guides are trying to communicate with you. Or they'll put certain people in front of you to make you learn certain things.
Interesting.
And that's what guides do. They're here to guide you, not to tell you what to do, not to say, oh, you're going to meet this guy in 30 days. Mm-hmm. They'll give you like a feeling, and they might give you pictures, and you'll just ignore them. You're like, what's going on with that? So they'll do stuff like that. Only if you ask. And you got to keep talking to them as if they were just somebody right beside you. And that's how you get better and better at it. Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so it sounds like you just really start feeling into it. Whatever experience you're noticing, kind of just show up and you feel something. You feel deeper into it.
Exactly. You'll feel it. If you're a feeler, that's what you're going to feel. If you're a person that's very visual, then you'll start getting your dreams. You'll start imagining somebody looking at you and saying, well, that's just, I'm making it up. But you're not. So they're going to come to you like that. You'll see it in movies. You'll just say if you see, I remember when I was starting to connect with my guide, I kept seeing a gray wolf everywhere. So I'm like, what is going on with it? Because I was in the beginning stage, and I'm like, why do gray wolves keep going in front of me? I'm like, even the name gray wolf everywhere. It's like, okay, I get it. And then I asked him, I said, is your name Gray Wolf? He's like, yes. He says, do you get it now? He says, yeah, I'm not. He says, you're not making it up. He says, you're not crazy. There's nothing wrong with you. He's saying, you do have this gift, and you're here to help people. Mm-hmm. He says, if you're here to help yourself, he says, the Creator is going to take it away from you. Oh, okay. So, yeah. Guides are very serious, and they're also very playful. The more playful you are with them, if you're a person that's in your head too much, and if it's too much for you, just play around with it, and eventually you'll start getting something. Don't be scared of it, because they won't harm you. Yeah, they're dead. They're dead. So
they're not going to haunt you or anything.
They're definitely here to help you. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So it's I love how it's just reinforcing that there's this whole other world, energetic world that we have access to help us on our journey. And like you said, they're not here to say, oh, you're going to meet a guy in 30 days. Their purpose is much larger and broader than that, to really help you on your true purpose and path, right? Yeah. So I love that. And makes me think about how, I have done some shamanic journeying where I've met several of my guides,
Yeah.
but now I'm thinking, gosh, I am underusing them, or I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for.
Yes.
That I really need to develop the relationship with each of them.
Yes. Just talk to them.
Yeah, because it seems like just like a regular romantic relationship or a relationship with friends and family, if you don't develop that relationship and have open communication, it's gonna just dissolve and go away.
Yeah, and it'll feel like how do you say it? Like an annoyance. You'll feel them around you, and it's because they'll tap into that part of you. So if you're really a feeler, they'll tap into that. If you're a visual person, they'll tap into that. If you're a logical person, it's hard because the veil gets very thick. Mm-hmm. If your brain is just, you're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But if you're really talking to them, like you said, consistently and as if they're your best friend, they are your best friend. Mm-hmm. And I've noticed with Grey Wolf, he's been there consistently, and he's told me things I don't want to hear about people. It's because I really, it's just, there are days when I'm like, yeah, you need to go somewhere else. And so he'll respect that and say, okay. And I said, where do you go? He's like, I go to the other side. And I said, what does that look like? So he started shows me pictures, and it's a really, really interesting place, and it's very bright, and very colorful, and everybody's really happy. And I call it a happy place, but and I get really sarcastic, and I'm like, everybody's not that happy over there. And he's like, yes, they are. He said, this is not the real reality down here. Yeah. He says, it's a dream. And he says, you're here to learn. That's what you're here to do. He says, I'm just here. You asked me to be here with you. And it's hard for me to understand that point. And the way guides are, they will not interfere, but they're here just to help you and support you. They're your biggest cheerleaders, whether you know it or not. They're not. Absolutely, he has told me they will not interfere with your life. I know there's a whole other thing. Angels will act if you really, if you're not meant to pass away or die, they were into, like, I'm trying not to say interfere. They will come in, and help you out. Yeah.
So when you send him away, do you need to then call him back, or does he just come back in at some point?
He does come back in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And another, I'm curious about when you hear things about other people that you don't want to hear, how do you know that it's actually the guide versus your ego that is just like being maybe judgmental or something?
Good question.
Because sometimes I'll hear like these random thoughts about other people, and I don't know if I'm tapping into what they're saying.
It's riffraff. It's so you're tapping into the garbage. So it's like a telepathic thing. So if you're getting a lot of low vibrating stuff, it's just what they're thinking, and so that's what it is. Yeah. So maybe they're going through like thinking too much, and so you can feel it. It just feels really heavy.
It's like space garbage.
Yeah, it's garbage. It's space garbage. So it's riffraff. So it's just psychic poo. So it's just poo. Psychic. I don't want to say shit. So it's just floating around, and you're just in the middle of it. And it goes in your face, and you're like, oh, what's this?
Yeah, because some of those things, I'm like, gosh, that's not very nice of me to think about that person.
So you're just going into that zone where it's just like, oh. And then people, so if you're a feeler, and if you tend to go into that too much, it gets to be toxic. Mm-hmm. So you have to learn to tune out.
Yeah.
and doing things that you love, like going to the spa or taking time off like you tend to do. I tend to do the same thing. And if I'm around it too much, I get really, really sick. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'll get a cold, or I'll get really bogged down, or I'll get really weepy. Really, really, I'll just cry. And I'm like, what's going on here? So I have, and then my boyfriend's like, what's going on with you? I'm like, I don't know. So I have to really, I shut off all technology. I shut off my internet. I shut off my TV, everything. And then I have to take like a Himalayan salt bath. I take it every day, or shower. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, this was like so much fun. Is there anything else that your guides would like to say, or you would like to say
sure.
before we wrap up?
He's just saying that keep following your dreams. He's saying that you and I have known each other before, so it's an ancient meeting, he calls it. So it feels like we've known each other for a while, and we have. So it feels like we've met different times. That's what he's saying. And he's saying, don't give up. Keep going after your dream, because it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome. So I'm wondering if there is a practical tip that you'd like to leave the listeners with.
Sure. Yes. So tapping into your guide is not hard. You just have to have that conversation with them. You could have it talking out loud. You can write it down. You can write it down on a piece of paper. Hello, Mike. Even if you think you're making it up, you're not. And just name your guide. You're not making it up. So if I name it Jack, it's Jack. Maybe it's another different guide. So practical tip would be write to your guide. Just write to your guide, and just keep doing that every day, and it'll get stronger and stronger.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And set a date with your guide.
Set a date with your guide, yes.
Every day. Night. Yep.
Every night. And sure enough, you will get in contact. You might be a little bit put off, but it'll be a nice new beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Super cool. Oh,
cool.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. Well, and how can people find out more about you and connect with you and maybe schedule their own private session with you and all that good stuff?
Sure. You can reach me at www.trishacondo.com. I know, because I'm a teacher too, so TrishaCondo.com. That's my website. You can go on my Facebook page, which is Intuitive Guide. I share a lot of stuff like inspirational messages. Sometimes I go on there and I give like readings, and they're pretty spot on. People are like, how did you know that? But anyways, you can go on there. You can follow me on Instagram, which is Instagram.com, Trisha Condo. On Twitter, so you can tweet me, and Twitter.com/Trisha Condo. So I'm everywhere. So I'm on Pinterest too. So Go ahead and stalk me. I don't care.
Yeah, and I will have links to all of those ways to connect with Trisha on the show page. So yeah, definitely reach out, say hey, and schedule a private session with her, because this was like super cool. This was amazing. I mean, she's like so right on.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you, Trisha, for joining me today. I just absolutely had such a fun time with you. And I'm so glad that we finally, after all of these years of ancient history, that we get to finally connect live together again.
Cool. I enjoyed it. Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Cool. And now I'd love to hear from you guys. The most awesome discussions happen after the show over at theawakenedgoddess.com. So get yourself over there and leave a comment right now. Did you enjoy this episode? If so, subscribe to the show. And of course, it would be absolutely amazing if you shared this with all of your friends. And if you want even more incredible resources, join Spark Spiritual Academy to get this month's Psychic Development collection of bonus content. And until next time, goodbye! Thank you for listening to this episode of The Awakened Goddess. I hope you enjoyed today's show and took away something you can start using in your life right away. For more spiritual insights and to listen to more episodes, subscribe to The Awakened Goddess Show at thegoddessnextdoor.com and discover wisdom that'll change your life.